Hello everyone, and thank you guys for tuning back into another video. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is finishing off the weekly recap, which I split into two videos so they won't be too long. And in this video I'm going to be going over the trades that I made on SPY and NFLX. So if we go ahead and hop into the SPY chart and go down to the history, we can see that I entered a put credit spread on July 31st for a total credit of $300, and I ended up selling August 1st, which is the next day, for a credit of $200. So we ended up profiting $100 from this trade. And if we go ahead up here, we can see that SPY was pretty much trading sideways until the federal rate cut news came out, and that caused it to drop down all the way to 297. And so what I ended up doing was purchasing the put credit spread down here with a strike price of 293 and 292.5, and it basically meant that as long as SPY stayed above 293 by Friday, I would make money. However, I did not hold until Friday. I took profits August 1st because, as you guys can see, what I was hoping for SPY to do was to, after that big drop, I was hoping for it to gap up and try to make up some of the losses that I had achieved the last trading day. So I was hoping for SPY to try to bounce back and retest the 300 area, and as you guys can see, that's exactly what ended up happening. Got as high as 300.68, and we were able to profit around $100, as you guys can see. So I'll get more into that trade once we hop into the TD Ameritrade chart. But the next trade was on NFLX, and on this trade I was kind of disappointed because we definitely left a lot of money on the table. If we go down, we can see that the trade I made was on was a day trade, and I was trading this on Friday, August 2nd. And what I ended up doing was I was very hesitant about this trade because the market was just downtrending the whole day, and I was trying to look for an entry. I alerted some other positions which I unfortunately wasn't able to get filled, and those would have made a lot of money also. But what I did end up trading was on NFLX. I bought a 310 call, and I sold that for a $30 win in about 10 minutes. But as you guys can see, hold up, let me look at the time, because he bought it at around 10:47, and you can see, well, I'll get into further detail once we hop into the chart. But 10:47 is right around here. Yeah, right around here. And I was looking at the chart, and the chart was signaling a bottom, and to me it looked like it was definitely bottoming out, and that's exactly what ended up happening. See, we called the bottom perfectly at around 10:50. You see, that's when we purchased the call, and we ended up selling pretty quickly. I think it was on this first gap up, we sold around the 313 area, so it wasn't really a big gain, just $30. But you guys can see that it just ended up uptrending the rest of the day. And if we go ahead and look at the 310 options, what they were trading at the end of the day on Friday, we can see that they're currently trading at $12. So you definitely left a lot of money on the table on this trade, but I'm not going to complain because the markets were very choppy on Friday. So I'm just glad that I was able to make a win rather than make a loss. But now I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the Thinkorswim charts and go into further detail. So here's the SPY chart, and what I noticed on this was that after the rate cut news happened, SPY ended up downtrending, and it ended up forming some support around the 296.50 area, and it just kind of hovered right below the EMA line, which is the green line right there. So basically just hovered below that throughout the whole day. And what I was hoping for it to happen, because SPY usually tends to recover some of the losses that it occurs because it's such a heavily traded fund. So that's exactly what I was hoping for it to happen, for it to recover a little bit. That's exactly what ended up happening. You see, August 1st, the price of SPY crossed over the EMA line, and it ended up gapping up all the way to the 300 area, and so we were able to profit $100 on that move towards the upside. If we would have held on longer, we would actually ended up losing money because the options expired in the money. But like I said, I'm a type of person that likes to take profits when they have them, so I don't tend to hold very long. So That's pretty much it for this trade. Pretty easy because it was just a bounce off the support. Now I'm gonna go ahead over and explain the NFLX trade. So here's the SPY chart, and what I noticed on this was that after the rate cut news happened, SPY ended up downtrending, and it ended up forming some support around the 296.50 area, and it just kind of hovered right below the EMA line, which is the green line right there. So basically just hovered below that throughout the whole day, and what I was hoping for it to happen, because SPY usually tends to recover some of the losses that it occurs because it's such a heavily traded fund. So that's exactly what I was hoping for it to happen, for it to recover a little bit. That's exactly what ended up happening. You see, August 1st, the price of SPY crossed over the EMA line, and it ended up gapping up all the way to the 300 area, and so we were able to profit $100 on that move towards the upside. If we would have held on longer, we would actually ended up losing money because the options expired in the money. But like I said, I'm a type of person that likes to take profits when they have them, so I don't tend to hold very long. So that's pretty much it for this trade. Pretty easy because it was just a bounce off the support. Now I'm gonna go ahead over and explain the NFLX trade. So this is the NFLX chart, and what I noticed on this was that, as you guys can see, it was downtrending pretty much from the beginning of the day all the way up to until like an hour into the day, around 9:30. And so why I saw potential in this trade was that even though it was downtrending, every candle was pretty close into crossing above the EMA line. As you guys can see on most of these candles, it had a longer upper wick that was just under the EMA line, and as you guys can see, as we got closer to it bottoming out, it started bottoming out around the 312 area. You can see that these last couple of candles, it just kind of traded sideways, but once again it was crossing over the EMA line, like right here. In this candle, I thought it was going to gap up right here because it crossed over the EMA line. However, it was a fake cross, and you guys can see it just continued to kind of trade sideways, but along that EMA line, and around this area, it was not able to drop any further down. Like, this is the area where it found support, and so that's where I ended up entering my position. If you guys remember, it was around 9:47, I believe, so right around here. So this is why I said I was able to call bottom on this one pretty good, because it got as low as a 311.8. We entered the trade around 312, and so we ended up taking profit on this cross over the EMA line, which was around the from 312 all the way to 313.50. Because of how choppy the markets were trading. The markets had just been down the whole day, so I didn't really want to risk too much. I was happy with a $30 win. But as you guys can see, if we zoom out a little bit more, we can see that our trade was the technical analysis on the trade was spot on, because it just continued to, after that bounce off the 312, it just continued to uptrend the whole day, and it got as high as up to the 319 area. So we definitely left a lot of money on the table on this trade, but it's always nice to know when your analysis was correct. So that's the main point here, that the analysis was correct, because if we can get the analysis correct, that means we can repeat the process on other trades. So I'm not too worried, and even though it's just a $30 win, it's still better than a loss. So that pretty much wraps it up for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.